I'm guessing it was yesterday or Saturday when you were running around on both days.
Yeah. Yeah, they had so many. They had one down, Anthony John Marie, I think he had a nice one down there in the lower nine. And very nice, in fact. So make sure I start sending out my emails. Yeah, man. Okay. And since now we have a new president.
I read the spoilers.
So you can do certain people under control.
I knew, I think there was something.
That never really happened, but it's a good try.
Yeah, man.
It's hard to keep people under
I know. But we got a new one now. But I want to make sure you start sending information.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure. The more info, the better.
Yeah.
My fellow Americans, I believe this is the best bridge. We have the greatest bridge in the world. It's the best. It's huge. All right, cool. Bye.
How you doing?
For me, come on in. Hello. Just so that way the camera shows. Good to see you. Yes, sir. So they can get the right speaking.
Hello, how you doing? Very good to see you.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. I definitely understand.
Oh, really? Okay. University. Okay, and I work with so y'all want the project team over the associations in this area. So what's the name of your DeSaix? Oh, yeah, I definitely want to talk to you. Okay, because I was talking to Mr. Benjamin.
He's on our board, yeah.
Okay.
He's our treasurer.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Hello there. How you doing?
I'm going to share.
Good to see you. This afternoon, I guess.
Yeah, I don't have any of my cards on me. My person.
Oh, wait, I give you. No, I wasn't. What's your number?
504-333-4092. And I'm Hannah.
Good morning, Madam Mayor. How you doing?
Doing well.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Happy holidays to everyone for presentation of information about this ribbon cutting today. And we appreciate all of the folks that have been courtesy to us, all of you associated media. We will have that information presented first starting with our mayor, and we will have some other guest speakers. Anything after that, I will take care of on the side. And with that, everyone, let's step up.
That's perfect.
Residents, we can tighten up.
That's perfect. Well, good afternoon, and thank you so much for being here. I think this is just another great day in New Orleans, but also highlighting the focus of our community, of our city, relative to the investments in infrastructure and the connectivity of our neighborhoods, which is connecting our people. Right here, as we talk about the DeSaix Bridge, this is a connection in terms of our neighborhoods and districts A and D that we have had in place for over 80 years. And so we're wanting to, again, demonstrate our commitment to accessibility, to improving our pedestrian walkways, biking capacity, the connectivity to our amenities here in this area. And I'm just so excited about how we have been, meaning the administration and in partnership with the council, how we were able to get the voters to approve an unprecedented bond sale for the city. This is how we have been utilizing the resources. And yes, we're going to go back to the public and ask for their approval once again to allow us to sell more bonds, because it is almost a but for. If we don't have the additional resources, it could actually prevent us from going deeper relative to infrastructure. But we're preparing ourselves to go back to the voters in April of next year, because if we don't in 2025, legally we'll have to wait until 2027 to go back for bond sales. So again, we don't have any time to waste, and all of it matters. So on today, we're just proud to announce this investment, over $6 million, again, of bond money, making all of this possible. I have with me Joe Threat, who is the Deputy CEO of Infrastructure. You're going to hear from him. Councilmember Green, who is here, who has been a strong supporter and absolutely in favor of moving forward with more bond sale opportunities for the city. We also have Nick Harris, who is representing Dillard University here, and of course, neighborhood leadership, Ms. Hannah is here, and you're going to hear from her as well. But let me tell you a little bit about the project. It covered milling and overlaying Moss Street from Esplanade Avenue to DeSaix Boulevard. We relocated utilities from the bridge, and we just completely rebuilt relative to the connection over at Bayou St. John Bridge, as well as improving the overall pedestrian walkways, sidewalks, the roadway, and what I love, ADA compliance and accessibility. It all matters. All of our people matter in the city of New Orleans. This also is an example of the Department of Public Works' ability to get things done in the city of New Orleans. Over 217 projects thus far since 2018, which is over 1.12 billion worth of infrastructure work. And currently 34 projects are underway. That's 553 million. This morning in my leadership meeting, I got the confirmation that in January, we're going to put on the street RFPs for another $300 million in infrastructure. Again, we will not stop. We cannot stop. The time is now. The partnerships are real, and the resources are being leveraged appropriately. And I want to thank all of our partners who have made this happen. That also includes our contractor, RNGD Construction LLC, and our designer, Neil Schaefer Inc. So with that, I'm going to ask our Deputy CAO to come forward, Mr. Joe Threat, and we're going to run through our agenda and, of course, cut a ribbon. So, Joe, thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thanks, everyone, for coming out this afternoon. This is just a continued commitment to the Department of Public Works and the City of New Orleans with our City Council to get things done. I mean, the mayor tasked me with getting work done in the city and prepare for Super Bowl, Super Gras, because we got Mardi Gras rolling right after that. And we've committed, and you can see in the streets, almost $50 million of improvements, not only from the east, out at the lakefront, coming down Diamond Road, Hang Road. We're working in the French Quarter right now. We're in the warehouse district. The city's gonna be ready to accept guests when they come in for Mardi Gras and Super Bowl. This is an example of work by Neil Schaefer, our designer, RNGB, our construction company. I'd like to thank my program manager, Josh Scott, and also the Office of Strategic Engagement for keeping the residents current on communication. Progress is painful. And people come to me and say, hey, Mr. Joe, why you doing this? Why you doing that? This is why I do it. Okay, the finished result is what we're shooting for. Naturally, we had some hiccups in the past with contractors or programs that slowed the progress. But coming this year in 2025, we're going back to work. And we're going to try to improve this city up to the best of your ability, Madam Mayor, under the Cantrell administration. We got a lot of work going on, and we got more to come. So thanks for your patience. Thanks for the community input and your communications on what you want to see in this city. And thank you very much. And with that, I'd like to bring up my friend, Councilmember Green.
Hey, all right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Director of Infrastructure, Deputy CAO and Director of Infrastructure. And I also want to thank the Mayor for her work and her commitment to these infrastructure projects, but also to working with me and other council members on enhancing the quality of life in our neighborhoods. I do want to take a second to just say, you're in the DeSaix neighborhood. Next year, we're going to celebrate, if you will, or commemorate 20 years since Hurricane Katrina. And after Hurricane Katrina, the DeSaix neighborhood had some very significant problems. But as you look at this thoroughfare now, DeSaix, as you look at and you go through the neighborhood and you see some of those houses that were blighted, a couple have been torn down. Every street has been done in the DeSaix community except for one, Joe. It's actually one that has to be done, Alden Street. But that's a whole nother issue for later on. I'm just joking, everybody. There's one more to be done. No, I'm not joking. One more, but everything has been done in this community. But when you think about the DeSaix community, it's kind of symbolic of what the potential is in New Orleans. If you lived right there, which is right in my district, you can walk down the street to a new early childhood learning academy at Langston Hughes that was created in part by voters who supported a millage that made early childhood education a little bit more attractive. You can also go to a great elementary school. You can walk from here through City Park and go to Delgado. You can also walk from here and go to Esplanade Avenue and go to 2 grocery stores. You can also, if you decide you want to be a dentist, be right there at the LSU School of Dentistry. I'm just saying that there's a lot in this community, but it's very symbolic of how we would like all of our communities to be in New Orleans, connected to each other, but very close to the resources that are needed. Madam Mayor, I do want to take an opportunity to thank your Neighborhood Engagement Office. I'm always so pleased with coming to a meeting to explain to residents what's about to happen relative to infrastructure. I'm always pleased to be able to say to them, you can also go to a neighborhood summit or a meeting at the Norman Meyer Library to learn out more. And that's because there is an office within city government, the Neighborhood Engagement Office, that has relatively young people, but very, very motivated to make sure our citizens know what their options are and what the resources are. Part of the reason that this project went so well is because at the neighborhood engagement meeting at Langston Hughes, it was explained to everybody that Moss Street would be finished first, so there wasn't going to be a tremendous delay, that the project was going to take a while. Here was the time frame, and actually this project kind of came in within the time frame. What a great story that is. But also that office has made sure that during the process and Roadworks NOLA, that if you had questions, they could be answered. So this is a great time of celebration. This is a celebratory season, but it's also a great time of celebration for not only this bridge, but for what it stands for. The DeSaix Area Bridge is an example of the voters who approved the bond, the mayor and the city council working together, and the mayor's team working together to make sure that our residents benefited tremendously from this development and knew everything that was going on as it went along. I do want to also join the mayor in thanking the contractors who were involved with this project, because we didn't get a lot of calls from our office. And that's because when they asked questions of people who were on the job, they told us that they were able to get the answers. And between Dillard and the DeSaix Area Neighborhood Association and others, thank you for the work that you do to continue to enhance our community. Madam Mayor, I'm looking forward to the continuation of bond issues, such as the bond issue that's going to happen in the spring, because I know that there'll be a lot of public input. I'm supportive of continuing the building of infrastructure in our city, because this is a city that is moving in the right direction in many respects. Today is an example of that. So in summary, thank you all for being here and for the work that you do, and I'm looking forward to continuing to see this type of work happen in District D, and I'm so very, very proud and pleased to have an opportunity to represent this district at this time. Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm just looking out at Captain Bush and NOPD. Thank you for being here, you know, really in the spirit of partnership, but you are truly boots on the ground. We appreciate that. And I want to ask next Mr. Nick Harris to come forward. When Councilmember Green talked about our neighborhood engagement office, as a community organizer, Nick and I were boots on the ground and really responsible and in partnership with the community of coming up with the neighborhood engagement office, and then having the ability to open not only that office but to grow it. It's, again, things have gone full circle that started on the ground. So with that, Nick, come on up, man. Yeah, I can't, 20 years next year.
That's right, that's right, that's right. We started off together.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about neighborhood revitalization, this is what you see right now, okay? And I'm just so happy to be a part of it. I know the work that you've put and your entire administration and Councilman Green and the commitment to the residents of New Orleans, but especially in this part of Gentilly. And I was thinking while I was standing up here, I said, now this is another gateway into an area of universities, of stabilizations of neighborhoods, from the Jazz Fest, you know, to Dillard University, to everything happening on DeSaix, where you have all the lights, all the traffic lights are located, you know. But we're so happy to be a part of this initiative, and very, very happy to be a part of the revitalization of Gentilly, and to see what this neighborhood was like 20 years ago, and to look at it right now, it should be applauded. So I have to do that. And thank you. And we all know 20 years ago, but we will celebrate that in 2025. We will. And I just want to say thanks to everybody for coming out, and I do appreciate all the work that's gone into this area, and then the walkway and the pathway to City Park and the pathway to Gentilly, the gem of New Orleans.
Absolutely.
Okay?
And more to come relative to these investments. But at the heart of it all, you know, a world's greatest expert on where they live are the residents themselves. And so, Ms. Hannah, please come forth, and thank you so much for being here and what you do.
I just wanted to take a moment to thank you and thank the contractors, the designers. My husband rides a bike, my child rides a bike, and having the DeSaix Bridge have protected areas for cyclists to get to the park, to get to shopping, is so critical for the future of this city and for safety for cyclists, which is something that's very important to me. I've heard from all of our residents how critical retaining the 2 lanes going each way was, and so I was very happy to see that we were able to satisfy both of those needs at the same time. I want to give a little shout out to Miss Kathy Boutte over here behind me. She puts together the decorations, the holiday decorations for our bridge every year, and they're beautiful this year. And that's it. Please come to our, you know, if you live in this neighborhood, come to our meetings. We create a forum for you with local leadership, and that's really critical, I think, to make sure that your voices are heard. I think that our work in this association is reflected by in the amount of attention our roads have gotten because we stay in y'all's inboxes and we make sure you know what we need. So we appreciate everything that you've done for the community, and we're looking forward to having a more connected city as well.
Absolutely. A part of it too is knowing what to ask for. I mean, in terms of making it easy for government to help. When your voice is there, it really does make it easy. And we just say thank you from the city, and we're going to keep going. That's what it's about. So we're going to be leaning on the community once again as we go to the voters and ask for an approval of another opportunity of a bond sale. And like I said, if you didn't catch it, if we don't go now, the next time will be in 2027. We don't have time to waste. We want to set our city up for continuity and growth and improvement, and that's what we're all about. So with that, Mr. Terry?
Yes, Mayor, we're going to Haley, join me, set the ribbon up.
And we're gonna do it right here in this one.
Okay. Okay.
More neighborhood people.